30 years ago, a spontaneous movement amongst the grassroots sprouted within Israel and the Palestinian territories by Palestinians rejecting the state of Israel. This was known as the Intifada, Arabic for the shaking off, and it lasted from 1987 until 1993. During the first Intifada, as acts of resistance, commonly rocks and Molotov cocktails were used against Israeli citizens and soldiers alike. While in September 2000 until February 2005, during the second Intifada, resistance came in the form of suicide bombing and other forms of terrorism against Israelis. And 30 years since this historic bottom-up phenomenon, many fear that a third Intifada may be due, especially with talks of moving the U.S. Embassy from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem. Hamas, the military group governing the Gaza Strip, released this statement in reaction to the possibility of the embassy's relocation to the city sacred to both Jews and Palestinians. We warn against such a move and call for the Palestinian people to revive the Intifada if these unjust decisions on Jerusalem are adopted. There are many similarities between the situation now and the situation right before both Intifadas ignited. People at the grassroots are fed up with the status quo, and people are disillusioned from the failure of diplomacy to resolve the conflict. Both the first and second Intifadas erupted around peace talks, but whereas the first Intifada sparked diplomatic meetings, the second Intifada resulted from the breakdown of them, which is exactly what happened in 2014 with the failure of the Obama administration to facilitate a resolution led by then Secretary of State John Kerry. But aside from a spree of random lone wolf stabbing incidents and car rammings by Palestinians on Israeli citizens, the violence that erupted from the first and second Intifadas has not been replicated since the 2014 talks failed. Theories as to why a third Intifada has not occurred are far-ranging. Some believe that today's youth is just too apathetic to believe that a difference can be made, while others remember the backlash that came from the acts of terrorism that the second Intifada brought. As a result from the second Intifada, checkpoints and Israeli settlement activity within the Palestinian territories increased, and a security border wall was placed around the West Bank, which divided the communities and greatly inconvenienced the day-to-day life for many Palestinians. And the territory that Israel did concede to the Palestinians completely, the Gaza Strip, was taken over by Hamas, an internationally recognized terrorist organization. It was a painful reminder that as bad as things may be, they can always be worse. Another reason why there has not been another Intifada lies in who the Intifada would be against. As the first two Intifadas resulted from an accumulation of anger and frustration against the Israeli government, everyday Palestinians today express almost the same animosity towards their own leadership as well. While Hamas swore uncompromising destruction to the Jewish state, the Palestinian Authority led by Mahmoud Abbas promised to keep their movement nonviolent and to work with the Israeli government and the international community in coming to a resolution for the conflict which has lasted for generations. However, the game plan put forward by the Palestinian Authority has not produced the outcome they claim to create, making them look like sellouts or pushovers for the Israeli government. If an Intifada is to arise now, most likely we will see at least part of it via social media. But although that may be how it is organized and spread, who will be the subject of such a movement and what kind of direction the movement will lead leaves many questions unanswered. The Trump administration has sent Jared Kushner, President Trump's son-in-law, to initiate new rounds of peace talks. However, with notions of favoritism for Israel, such as moving the U.S. Embassy to Jerusalem, the Palestinians have publicly warned that the peace process will end if such actions are carried out.